The Niners have been one of the deadliest teams across the entire NFL for years now. And the big reason for that is because of the playmakers they have on the offensive side of the ball. I mean, you have Christian McCaffrey, Deebo Samuel, George Kittle, and Brandon Ayuk. While those superstars are great to point out, many people know the importance of depth. And the Niners have depth at every position, and these YAC receivers are no different. And in this year's draft, they have an absolute stud they got in Ronnie Bell. During Ronnie Bell's first two preseason games, in both games, he led the Niners in receiving yards. He's also looked to lock down the punt return and kick return duties for the Niners with Ray McCloud out with a broken wrist. To highlight how dominant Ronnie Bell's actually been doing, over 2 games, he's had 10 receptions for 172 yards, averaging 17.2 yards a catch. Ronnie Bell also was able to get involved in the run game with an in-around during his first performance against the Raiders, and during this play he broke multiple tackles, and throughout preseason this is something we see happen over and over again. Ronnie Bell running over guys, and that's something that started way back in his high school days. And in this video I hope to break down Ronnie Bell's career up to this point and what type of player the Niners are actually getting. Starting out with the big reason why Bell fell in the draft, it was his athletic profile. He came in at 6 foot, 191 pounds, but he didn't blow anyone away with his speed, only running his 40-yard dash in 4.54 seconds. That's not top tier for the position. But something that I think really stood out was his 10-yard split of 1.52 seconds. This is really the measure of a player's short quickness burst, and in comparison, CMC has a 10-yard split of 1.55 seconds. Additionally, Bell demonstrated a good strength on his bench press, putting it up 14 times. So while many scouts looked at Ronnie Bell's 40-yard time and his height maybe as no-goes, the Niners didn't look at it this way, and there's been plenty of players that have been successful in the NFL with these measurables. For instance, Anquan Boldin comes out at 6'1" and ran his 40-yard dash in 4.72 seconds. So now with Bell's athletic profile broken down, let's move into his formative years at Park Hill High School, where Bell was a multi-sport athlete playing both football and basketball. Bell was actually a better basketball player arguably during his high school years than a football player, receiving an offer from Missouri State and even committing there. However, after a strong senior season for Bell, he did receive an offer from Jim Harbaugh, a former 49ers coach. He caught 89 passes for 1,605 yards and 21 touchdowns. So after the strong senior season and receiving an offer from Michigan, Bell decided to stop his pursuit of basketball at the next level and really commit fully to football. During Bell's first year, he had a total of 145 yards and 2 touchdowns, including a nice 56-yard touchdown reception against Nebraska. During this year, Bell received Offensive Rookie of the Year accolades. The next 2 years, we would see Bell become Michigan's leading wide receiver in both 2019 and 2020. In both years, respectively, he had 758 yards and 401 yards. The 2020 season was cut short though because of COVID, and the following year, Bell had to deal with an injury issue where he tore his ACL, but during the following year, during 2022, he had a great comeback, having 889 yards receiving. That was a career high. He also had a career high in receiving touchdowns. So while we focused on Bell's receiving accolades throughout college, he was also a great punt and kick return man throughout his high school and college days. I mean, Bell can truly do it all. So with both Bell's high school and college days out of the way, it was time for scouts to dive a little bit more deeply into his strengths as well as his weaknesses. The strength for Bell really has to be his ball skills. He catches almost everything that comes to his direction in college, and he also has the ability to make these crazy athletic adjustments midair. Furthermore, that bully YAC mentality we've seen carry over to the Niners is something he's had since his high school days, so a big plus there. Additionally, it was nice to see Bell come back from an ACL tear in 2020 and follow it up with one of his most productive seasons. However, there were some weaknesses that scouts pointed out, such as his lackluster 40-yard time, and many people question his ability to actually get open in the pros without scheme help. So overall, coming out of college and high school, Bell was a dynamic player with the balls in his hands, whether it be punt or kick return. And while he might not wow you with his top end speed, I'm wowed with his 10-yard acceleration, which I think is more important as a football player. The Niners also seem to have this philosophy with their players as they picked up Ronnie Bell in round 7 with pick 36. And so far, when you look at the Niners draft, it would be hard to argue with someone that said Ronnie Bell was the best pick. I mean, he's dominating everyone and looks like he might even contribute heavily when it comes week 1 and week 2. With Ray McCloud out, it looks like Ronnie Bell will pick up punt return and kick return duties. Furthermore, I don't think it's too much to ask Bell to develop into number 3 wide receiver and potentially replace Jauan Jennings when that time comes. But these are just my thoughts on Ronnie Bell and his strong outing so far, and I'd love to hear your thoughts down below. It would also mean a ton to me if you liked and subscribed. And as always, I hope you guys have a good rest of your day.